Number 4. Men constantly decide I am too much work. Because I have needs and feelings, she says, and I'm not some accommodating robot, I'm too much trouble to bother with. There are so many options online that they can easily find some girl who doesn't require anything of them. I avoid all the douchebags by refusing to let go of my standards, but I'm getting rejected by so many men that it's starting to screw with my head. You know what's funny? When women describe their neuroticism and their unrealistic expectations as needs or feelings, right? Girls are so impossible to deal with these days. It's no wonder dudes are only using them for sex. The less time you spend with a girl, the less of a headache she can be. But here's Ms. Horton's main problem. When she says, I'm too much trouble to bother with, she has no idea that it means she's simply not worth dealing with anymore. Young, pretty girls get more leeway in the way of dating because they are young and pretty. It's a cost-benefit analysis. A female's youth and beauty make her dealing with her nonsense worth it to some degree. It's just like sports. For all you sports fans out there, the more talented player X is, the more shenanigans Team Y will put up with. Antonio Brown and Odell Beckham Jr. come to mind immediately for me. These guys are constant distractions in the locker room and in the media, but because of their talent and because of their production on the field, teams deal with it. Terrell Owens was also in that camp. He was a huge distraction in San Francisco. He then came to Philadelphia, here to Philly, blew up that locker room and did the same thing in Dallas. Okay? Teams put up with that. But when his skills diminished, he couldn't even get a contract with the Bengals. He played for the Bengals and they decided, you know what? Thanks, but no thanks. Amy Horton is the equivalent of Terrell Owens, guys. Guys used to deal with her nonsense, but because she was young and pretty. But now that she's in her 30s, dudes ain't trying to deal with her nonsense anymore. But instead of saying, I'm too old to put up with, she says, I'm too much trouble to bother with, as if to imply that men are the issue and not her diminishing beauty. Then she complains that there are girls out there who don't require anything of them. This, again, is a female who expects men to cater to her for no other reason but that she's a woman, and she is surprised that there are other women who understand that at their advanced age, the beggars can't be choosers. Some women get it, she doesn't. These are the musings, guys, of a female who is grossly overestimating her own sexual market value. The fact that she indirectly says that she requires things from these men is laughable. What exactly are you requiring? You want men to open doors for you? You want men to be a gentleman to you who treat you like a lady? Sweetie, you're about to be 35 years old. Okay? You had your chance to dictate what you wanted out of men in your 20s, but because your sexual currency is next to nothing, now you want to complain that other women your age have figured out that they're in no position to make requirements of men? What sense does that make? Then she says she's refusing to let go of her standards, and that's the problem. As a post-wall female who has been rode hard and put away wet, you don't get to have standards anymore, boo. Ms. Horton, you'll take what you can get because your options are limited, and that's what's really screwing with your head. All right, let's continue. Number 5, I demand common courtesy, she says. Therefore, I am considered a pain in the ass. She continues, women must have horribly low standards these days because guys are always shocked when I want them to give me respectful treatment. Yes, if you want the pleasure of my company, I expect you to plan a date. It doesn't have to be fancy, but at least come up with something. The level of laziness among single men is appalling. No wonder none of them have girlfriends. Now she's resorting to the name calling, guys. You're a douchebag. No wonder girls don't like you. You don't have a girlfriend. No wonder you don't have a girlfriend. When females start saying things like this, they know that the end is near. Anyway, it's not that women have incredibly low standards, Ms. Horton. It's that your standards are too high for your sexual market value. You see, men are shocked when you want them to give you respectful treatment because you're 35, you're past the wall, and you don't act like a lady. Here's another thing that women of all ages are grossly unaware of. You have to earn respectful treatment from men who are worth a damn. You don't just get to show up and get treated like a lady because you have 2 X chromosomes. Now, back in the day, treating a woman like a lady was standard because just about every female was worthy of respectful treatment. Why? Because they were respectful. Women back then didn't wear pajamas in public. They didn't give it up to anything with a Y chromosome and a smile. They said please and thank you and smiled and were pleasant. But women these days are literally the polar opposite. Guys, today's women are the furthest they've been in terms of being worthy of respectful treatment from men than they've ever been in history. So Amy Horton expecting respectful treatment when she's acted like a neurotic, entitled, and promiscuous woman until, I don't know, maybe about 15 minutes ago, that's laughable. And newsflash, Ms. Horton, your company is not pleasurable unless we're having sex with you, and even then, it's lackluster. Guys, this is how women think. They think that by simply being present, that you are indebted to them. Well, he owes me respectful treatment at dinner and drinks because just my presence alone is worth all that. Get the hell out of here with that. Are you serious? If I swipe right, if me, Donovan Sharpe, if I swipe right on a 30-something slut, the only thing I'm planning is the time I schedule my Uber to come and get me after I blow her back out for 6.5 minutes. I ain't sticking around for chit-chat or her valuable company, and neither is anybody else. Oh, and by the way, Ms. Horton, the reason why these men don't have girlfriends is because none of these hoes is worth committing to, and they know this and act accordingly, which is to blow your backs out, then bounce like a bad check before you get your bra back on.